Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get a video out this week. It is now late on Saturday evening. It's starting to get a little bit darker outside, but I have a quiet moment and I wanted to share the fingerless mitts that I have finished and my work on prepping for Spuntober. So let's just dive in and get this thing recorded and hopefully uploaded tonight. My last video that I did, we decided to try a little different format. And while I loved the formatting, the way I loved having my son working the camera and using the computer to adjust between the multiple cameras, the reality is the computer that we have that can be moved around is struggling with the level of CPU usage that required. And so we did have glitchy sound and video combinations at times. It might work if it was a short video, and we may test out another one in the upcoming weeks to see if doing a very short clip might work a little bit better. But for now, we're back to the old, my phone as my camera, set up on a tripod with me here in my sewing room. It's been a lot of fun trying the different things. It's been a lot of fun working with my son and having him part of these videos. He's currently working on another project, so it's just me tonight and the stuff that I have, the progress I've been making on my Colorwork exploration and my Spuntober preparation. So I'm going to show you my Colorwork really quickly. I started making some fingerless mitts. The one I've showed this earlier. These are using pattern doodles from the Pacific Knit Company. These have kittens on them. This is hand spun that I did during Tour de Fleece. And once they were fulled and blocked, they're wonderful. So I loved them. I had a lot of the purple left over and some of the yellow left over, so I thought I'd make a second pair, potentially for my daughter. And I was really quite worried about these. The gauge ended up being a little bit bigger, but this purple was a 3-ply, whereas the yellow was just a 2-ply. And you can see the little ghosties. And when they were finished, when I finished knitting them, they were really a little on the too big side. I took them to the sink, a bowl of soapy water, and I folded them, slightly felted them just a little bit. I made them shrink down. And they're nice and thick and squishy and warm. And while they are just a little bit, I think, on the big side here around the wrist, I think I'd like it to be a little snugger, they work. So now I'm not sure if I get the ghosts and my daughter gets the cats or vice versa. They're both, I think that this one, the cats, you can see the little cats, there we go. I think this fits a little more snugly around the wrist. And I am not really using a pattern per se. I am using a pattern actually that I kind of worked up a few years ago, but there are fingerless mitt patterns out there that you can follow. And I think even Pacific Knit Company in their book has a fingerless mitt pattern. But I think these fit a little bit better, just in my gauge was a little tighter. The yarn may have been a little bit smaller gauge itself. But I would prefer to have around the wrist, and I think my daughter would too, just a little bit more snug. So I think it's a case of starting with a little bit fewer stitches here, increasing in order to do the Colorwork repeat of the cats or the ghosts. So if I make some more, which I probably will, I'll probably do that. Start with a smaller set of stitches around the wrist, and then when I'm ready to start doing the color work, I'll do a row or two to increase up to the number of stitches that I need. I think that will work out better for my specific comfort zone. I'm hoping. I just heard a cat. Oh, I have the windows open and I have a couple strays outside that we feed. They're feral, so we can't. They're not really domesticated. They don't really have the ability to be domesticated, especially where we have all of the indoor cats. And I think I just heard one of them wake up and say hi. I was wondering what that noise was. But as I was saying, if I make more mitts in the future, I will probably make it a little bit narrow and then increase up to the amount of stitches I need to do the motifs that are there. Really pleased. I kind of want to live in a colder climate, so I have a need for these more often. But I love this merino mohair blend that I spun up during Tour de Fleece, and I love it so much. When I run out of the mohair that I have, I'm probably going to try to see if I can source more of it. Absolutely just wonderful. I wouldn't necessarily wear it as a scarf or a hat against my head, but I'm so finicky with that anyhow. But for this aspect, this purpose, oh, absolutely, absolutely love it. So, speaking of spinning, in the Spuntober, what I want to do for my son and I is have 31 days of fiber that we can spin. The idea being kind of an advent to Halloween or to the, an advent through the autumn season. I've posted video before talking a little bit about it, sharing the colorways. I really need to do a blog and put this stuff on the blog too. There's been a bunch of stuff going on behind the scenes. We've been doing a huge fall, like spring cleaning, but in this case, autumn cleaning. And so, yeah, even doing this video today, wasn't sure I was going to get it to work. But with Spuntober, we're wanting to spin and vlog for 31 days of October in celebration of the autumn season, entering into the holiday season, maybe getting yarns prepared for holiday projects. And I've shown you that I had prepared, and I've got them in this big bag, 31 colorways. Each one of them was, I think each one of them ended up being 1 ounce of fiber that I did, so we had 2 pounds. I did this all in the other video, and even then I was like trying to remember, but I know I had 2 pounds, which I think left me with 32 different colorways that we dyed up. I'll make sure to put in the end, try to do in the end cap the video that we talked about this. But I gathered all of them up. I put them all in little bags. These individually dyed roving. Okay. I am keeping records of the colors, and I will be having all of this on Ravelry. I think some of it may already be on Ravelry. I'm not sure. But my son and I doing this project where we dyed up all of the fiber. I have bagged it in this big bag. And now I am working my way through combining each one of those sections of dyed merino, combining it with one of 2 fibers. So what I'm doing is taking, well, okay, let me just show you. If I were doing this one next, I'm taking this section, dividing it like that in half, splitting it by opening it up because it is a little, when it's compressed, it doesn't want to pull apart, and breaking this fiber into 2 sections. So the same color is now in 2 sections. Then I'm going to my blending board and I'm blending one section with this white Coriadel, and I'm blending the other section with this brown CVM. Now, I sort of kind of, what I did is I took 8 ounces of Coriadel, I took 8 ounces of CVM, I did a little bit of math, figured out kind of the amount I would need to blend with mylar fiber, and I'm making little balls out of it. And it's something like 8 grams, I think, is what I am putting together. And I'm making little sections. I grab a section, I go to the blending board, I grab a section, I blend the 2 of these together. I grab the second section, I grab the 2 of these together. That is the process that I'm doing. And I blend them together. I'm actually, in most cases, blending them on the blending board 2 times. So I'll blend them all, pull the whole bat off the blending board, roll it up, and start pulling from the bat and blend and putting it back on to blend it a second time. I do it with the white, I do it with the brown, and when I am done, let's see if I can open this. I've shoved it back into a bag. When I'm done, I pull it off the blending board like that. I roll it up like that, and then I put it in a bag with its partner. So we have this. So same color of merino dyed, but with the brown CVM and with the white Coriadel. And I do that. Let's put this back in the bag so it doesn't get separated with its card. I have a card in each bag with each color so that I can remember what the dye is. I get one done and I grab the next one. And, oh, this one's really lovely. This one, let's brown and white. So that is what I've been doing. And I need to now still go through, as you can see from that other big bag of bags of fiber, I have quite a number of colors. When you have 30, in this case 32, because there's the extra. When you have 32, this color, by the way, is avocado. And look at that. The brown CVM, the white Coriadel. It's going to take a bit, so I have been working. I was working quite a number of days while watching TV this week. I had to take a break to let my hands recover, both from all the little pricklies of the blending board, but also the pulling of the fiber to then spread it on. It does actually make my hands a little tired. But I have something like, well, that is 6. I have about, I think 9. I think I have 9 colors done. Definitely my baskets are less than they were. Oh, I should mention, I did want to mention, so I have all of these in this basket, but these are bats. So the first thing I had to do, and I will tell you, oh, that was a bit on the frustrating side. The first thing I had to do is I had to pick apart, hand pick all of my 8 ounces of fiber. Then I ran my fiber through my drum carder at least once, if not twice, sometimes twice, depending on how it was opening up. I ran it through. The picking apart really made me tired this time, and I was very frustrated, and I was like, you know, why am I doing this? Why am I making this work for myself? Why don't I just spin in Spuntober? Why don't I just spin the merino by itself? But I've spun the merino by itself a couple times now. And I've really enjoyed taking the merino and blending it with some other fiber. And this was the mohair and merino, mohair and merino, and this Coriadel. I want to see how it's going to go with the merino, and I want to see how the CVM blends. It's going to be different, certainly, from the mohair and the merino, but it's easy to source for me. It's at least where I'm at. It's easy for me to source a large quantity of undyed merino roving that I can then turn into braids and play with color. It's not as easy for me to source these other fibers that I buy directly from the people with the sheep. So it's easy for me to source their fiber, but it's not easy for me to source roving from them. So, and when it comes to these other fibers, the truth is I kind of like to have my hands in the process of cleaning them and carding them, because then I can really look at the way the fiber looks, the way the fiber feels, and the way the fiber behaves. So while it's nice to be able to buy the big bump of merino roving, I already washed, scoured, and ready for me to go, I still like to use from the fleece these other fibers, taking the time to prepare them so that I can easily blend them on the blending board. And yes, I could blend them on the drum carder just as easily. The reason I use the blending board to blend my fibers is I feel like with it I can control the spread a little bit more. I know that I can do it with the drum carder, but especially in this case where I'm using small amounts, different colors, and I want to keep it very separate. Sending all of the undyed fiber through the drum carder, making it into bats, then turning it into little strips that I blend on the blending board. It's working. I just really, really did not enjoy the picking apart of the fiber this time. And I think it had nothing to do with the fiber, but it had to do with where my brain was. And this is the thing I want to remind everybody about Spuntober, because it certainly is something I had to remind myself. Even getting ready to do this video today, I had to remind myself. Spuntober is not about a competition, and it's not about rules and regulations. It's not about specific goals. Spuntober, everything about Spuntober is about trying to get some fiber-related tasks done during a time of the year that is either not the dead of winter or the middle hottest part of the summer. Spuntober is about working on our projects, whether you are in a part of the world that it is autumn or you're in the part of the world that it is spring. Spuntober is about trying to accomplish fiber-related tasks in preparation for the seasons to come, and especially in preparation for the holiday season. Whether we are making a finished object that we're giving away, like the mitts, or we're gifting prepared fiber, or maybe we're gifting the spun yarn. Spuntober is about working with our fiber, dedicating time for our fiber without the constraints that often either inspire us to overdo it or can hold us back because we have interruptions. I was really still quite tired, I think, from Tour de Fleece. And I know I started doing this at the end of August. I should have been recovered. I started doing this at the beginning of September, not right after Tour de Fleece. But it was taking me a while to recover still. I was still fatigued. I think physically fatigued, I was starting to recover. I think emotionally or mentally fatigued, not quite. And picking apart the fiber, thinking about even touching fiber again, thinking about doing anything like this, it really kind of, it was a roadblock. It was tough. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to grab something simple and just go spin. But I know that sometimes that is exactly what we need to do. And sometimes that is what stops us. That very thing that we sometimes need to do is the thing that stops us from actually making progress with our goals. When we buy a fleece, we have a goal. Even if we don't know what the end use of the fleece, we have the goal of using this fleece. Well, sometimes because we have to do the extra work, we put off that goal. We have things that interrupt us. We just don't want to face washing it, carding it. The spinning part we may love, but the prep may sometimes stop us. And we can just simply go buy prepared fleece, I should say prepared roving, and we do. But when we bought the fleece, we had a goal, we had a desire, and sometimes we run into blocks that make it difficult for us to use it. And if we decide we don't want to spin any more of this fiber because we don't like it, at least if we prepare it, we can now give this fiber to someone else who can then easily spin it. And maybe if we take the time to prepare it, by the time we have it prepared, we say, oh, well, I don't remember why I didn't like spinning it the last time, but hey, I kind of want to see how it feels this time. Things change. So one of the things I wanted to cover in this video, yes, I have my mitts, my little ghosty purple mitts with yellow ghosties. I have my mitts done. I have my combination fibers prepped. I'm now blending together my Spuntober colorways. And yes, there would be an easier way to do this. But I had a goal, and I'm working on getting that goal accomplished. And that is what Spuntober is about. So if I did not have this finished before the 1st of October, this could be part of my Spuntober. The get it done, get it moving, get it working. Whether it is working on the knitting project, whether it's working on a crochet project, whether it's just cleaning out our stash, reorganizing our stash. Spuntober, for me, is going to be about connecting in a different way with my stash than in the wonderful way that I connect in Tour de Fleece, the wonderful way I connect if I am doing Advent for December. It's a way for me to connect. With that final thing being said, I will definitely put out there, I have great appreciation for the fiber artists, the fiber dyers, the fiber suppliers out there who put together Advent for Halloween, for Christmas, these calendar countdowns of fiber and yarns so that we don't have to create for ourselves 25 to 31 colorways. Thank you. All of you who put together boxes that people can purchase to make it so they can participate in things like this without needing to process all of it themselves. I chose to do 31 different colors. I have done this before. For Christmas, I had 25 different colors. I have done this. I enjoy the process, but I would not want to do this as a business because, wow, it takes some serious creativity and motivation and discipline. So to all of those indie dyers out there, whether they are dyeing fiber or they are dyeing yarn, kudos to you. You bring something wonderful to our world. And if you are planning to do Spuntober, and you want to have a little less stress going into the run-up to it, please consider finding one of these individuals who put together these countdown boxes and purchasing one of theirs if they are still available to purchase. This is a wonderful service that they do. It brings a new piece, a new creative way for us to participate. Whether we're doing a lot of the prep ourselves or a little bit of the prep ourselves, it's wonderful to be able to take part in these challenges. And I know a lot of people do enjoy doing a countdown to Halloween just as much as they do a countdown to Christmas. And I think it is fabulous that we have people who are catering to their needs. I look forward to Spuntober. I look forward to seeing everyone else's efforts. I'm hoping that either through Facebook or Ravelry, you, the audience out there, will share with me and all of us your photos, your efforts, your successes, your struggles. I look forward to that. And it's that I look forward to that keeps me going when even just carding a pound total of fiber is really something I wasn't looking forward to doing. And strangely, while the drum carding was something I wasn't looking forward to, it actually went pretty easily. It was the picking it apart that I wasn't enjoying. And that's usually the part that I absolutely love. So it just goes to show you, if you're having a rough day one day, set it aside and try it again another day. And who knows, maybe it'll be a little bit better. Or, as Spuntober hopefully will help us do, if you're having trouble in one season getting it done, try doing it in the next season and see if it works out a little bit better. So I hope you've enjoyed this Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. Until next time, I hope you find a way to unwind, to squish some fiber, and to find a little bit of joy in the crazy world we live in. Until next time, bye-bye.